Let me grab your attention for a minute. I'd like to ask you this question based on these four cards. Now, the rule is simple. If there is a vowel on one side of the card, the other side must have an even number. So, as quickly as you can think of, which of these four cards should be picked to check this rule? The answer is you only need to check the A and the 3. This is because, of course, the A is the vowel, so you need to know if there's an even number behind it. But for the 2, it doesn't matter because the rule was just for the vowel behind the even number. But you also need to check for the 3 to make sure that the other side does not have a vowel, which it does. And the X doesn't matter because it's not a vowel either. So this is the Wayson selection task. And it's a cognitive test that about only 10% of participants get the exact answer to. This is kind of because we're not very logical animals. We're more not very quick and fast at doing logic. However, let's say I get this question a bit differently. So this time, the rule is that if a person is drinking beer, they need to be over 18. So which of these four cards should I be picking to check this rule? And most people get the answer very quickly. That yeah, you need to check the person who's drinking the beer, and you need to check the person who's under 18 to see if they're not drinking beer. So the rate of questions getting this is about 70-80%. So the point is that humans are more social animals. We relate to things based on social constructs, based on how we think of people and stuff. And so in order to teach somebody about something logical, it is better to talk to them in a relatable social context. My name is Surya Dattagupta. I'm Indian American and I've been studying neuroscience academically. I got my bachelor's degree at the University of Texas in Austin. I did my master's degree in Bordeaux in France, and now I'm doing my PhD over there in cognitive neuroscience. People often ask me questions about how the brain works, about emotions, about fear, and it's a bit frustrating that there are no good answers to give because we don't know a lot conclusively and because they're just a bit complicated to explain to the layman. So it would be better to get them more curious about the brain, to give them simple steps about some stuff that we do know. And the way I can incorporate this is through my writing. I have always loved to write since I was young, and it's been my desire to write books and share them with as many people as I can. So I'm launching a website that is for all my books. The principal character in my books was the first person maybe I thought of was someone called Dende Robinson. He's a robot who was built using alien technology. The aliens were destroyed by people on Earth out of fear of retaliation or being conquered, but Dende Robinson survived, came to Earth. He met up with a few high schoolers, and then when he developed his body and they became friends, they realized how similar Dende is to humans and how much the human brain is like a computational biological organ. What they decided was that since he's so good at logic and smarter than everybody else, why not try being a detective and solving cases that are impossible? So they launched this agency called Mr. Robinson's Agency, where they solve pretty high-profile cases and go up to become famous. And the point of these books weren't exactly about the cool detective or the investigation stuff. It was just more about how getting to think about the brain and how Dende asks the big questions that humans think of and psychology. And this is the kind of thing I incorporated in the books I wrote after that. And so currently on my website, I have 4 books for you to check out. The first one is The Boat of Aurora, which is a Dende Robinson case. The second one is The Human Game, which is like his last case and kind of the finale of him. Then there's The Nuevo Muir, which is more of a psychological thing with less drama. And there's Wyvern Universal Totally Sucks, which you can tell is not a normal book, it's just crazy, funny kind of stuff. And these books aren't about the fictional world with a lot of character building and stuff. I am unfortunately not that good of a writer for this yet. But they do hopefully get people to think about life, about philosophy, about the brain, and kind of introspect and think about bigger pictures. And for this purpose, I am launching the website where you can check out any of the 4 books, but the digital books are free on my website, on the pages. And this is not because I have money, I don't, but it's because I'm not stupid. I know that I can't make a living out of this if I don't have this kind of popularity or this audience. And so, for the time being, you can read these books digitally, and if for some reason you want to get the paperback, they will be available on Amazon through Kindle Publishing. So for the goal of this website, I'm gonna be talking about the books, and I'll probably make some videos explaining the content with spoilers, without spoilers, and I will be taking in feedback because that is so important for me to build myself. And if there's any kind of logical errors or things that people notice that are flaws, then I would be happy to consider changing them because I own all the content. I can just change them whenever I want. So what I'd like you to do is just have a look around and see if any of the books interest you. But more importantly, if you know any people who like reading books, these kind of fiction books with a little bit of science facts in them, like asking the big questions, please share this website with them. I really want to share my books with as many people as I can. And hopefully I can get somewhere with this where I develop my audience a bit more and myself as a writer. So thank you so much for visiting my website and hope you find something you like.